There are 15 really important things that I think you should do before you depart on a trip. Hello, it's Erica James coming to you again today with another travel tip. Today, I want to talk to you about 15 things to do before you travel. When you are planning a trip for vacation, there are so many things that you need to do to make sure that you're properly prepared to head out for vacation. You don't want to be rushed. So my advice is to start a couple of weeks ahead of time before your trip. Pull your luggage out, pull a checklist out, and start writing things down as you remember them. Remind yourself of things that you need to do, and you can check them off as it gets closer to your trip. There are 15 really important things that I think you should do before you depart on a trip. The first thing is create a travel document folder. I know you all have heard me talk about this before, and I know you know that I love travel document folders. I love to keep a folder with me. As soon as I plan a trip, the first thing I do is create a folder. So every time I book something, a reservation, a hotel, flight, confirmation numbers, all goes into that one travel folder. So I can house everything that I need for that trip with all the information that I need. There's nothing like a travel document folder. I preach about it. I love it. I carry it with me because you have to have the information on where you're going, the address, the phone numbers, the confirmation numbers. So the very first thing you do when you book a trip is create a travel document folder. The second thing is pull out your passport. And I pull my suitcase out like 2 weeks ahead of time. The second thing I do after creating my travel document folder is get my passport out of the safe and I attach it to my suitcase because I am in fear of traveling, showing up at the airport and not having my passport. Tip number three, contact your bank and credit card companies. This is extremely important. When I travel out of the country, I always notify my bank and my credit card companies. The bank has a form I can complete and submit, letting them know my travel dates and what countries that I'm going to be in. And then my credit card company also has the same. This is important, especially with security these days, because your bank may think that it's fraud being on your card. So you don't want your card to be declined while you're out of the country because you didn't notify your bank that you were traveling. Trust me, it only takes a second. You want to do this. I traveled to Mexico before and ran out of cash. I spent more cash than I planned to, so I wanted to get some more money. Put my card in the ATM and it was declined. I mean, my card was declining everywhere. Then I remembered, oh my God, I forgot to complete my travel release form with my bank. So you don't want to get stuck in a country where you can't use your credit card. So always notify your bank and your credit card that you are traveling. Even if you think you're not going to use your card, do it anyway as a backup. You'd rather be safe than sorry. Tip number 4. Travel with travel insurance. I know this is not a fun topic that anybody wants to talk about, but it is also important. You never know what's going to happen, what could happen. Everyone thinks that travel insurance is just in case you're going to cancel, but it's so much more than that. Travel insurance covers your flights, your delayed luggage. If your luggage gets lost and you have to purchase other items, if your luggage is delayed and you need certain essentials until they find your luggage, if you don't make the next flight, you need help getting to your connecting flight because you missed it. If you get stuck somewhere, I mean, it covers numerous things. If you get hurt while you're out of the country, because your U.S. medical insurance does not work outside the country. So if you have travel insurance and you need medical attention, then that travel insurance is going to help you. Number 5, money. If you're traveling to another country, do your research ahead of time and see what currency they have. See if the US dollar is acceptable when you're traveling outside the country. If it is not, you may need to exchange money. Always check with your bank first to see if you can purchase that money or exchange money within your bank instead of waiting till you arrive at the airport and exchange money because the cost can be a little higher. So you want to do your research about the currency in the country that you are going in. Tip number 6, vaccinations. Depending on what country that you are traveling to, you may be required to get vaccinations. So you always want to do your research as well and find out if you need that vaccination. You can always check with your travel agent and find out what are the recommended vaccinations needed to travel to that country. And as always, consult your physician and discuss what country you're going to and get the medical recommendation from your physician if you need vaccinations or not. Tip number 7, contact your mobile carrier. You want to contact your mobile carrier before you take any trip outside the country to ensure that you are familiar with the terms and conditions of your international plan, as well as make sure that you have an international plan on your phone, because you don't want to be outside the country and an emergency occurs and you can't use your phone. Nor do you want to come back from vacation and find out that you have a humongous cell phone bill. So make sure you contact your mobile carrier before you leave it out of the country to ensure that you are abreast of what you need and what you need to know about using your phone outside the country. Tip number 8, medications. When traveling, make sure that you put your medications back in the original bottles with your name and prescription information on that. And also make sure you keep that on your person and not packed in your luggage just in case your luggage gets lost. You want to make sure that your medications can be identified in those original bottles when you're outside the country for numerous reasons. Also, it can also help you identify who you are should you lose your photo identification. That has happened to me before. I lost my wallet on the plane, and to fly back home, I had no identification. Airport security asked me, do you have any prescriptions in your purse that has your name on it, and show us other identifying things. So it's always a good idea to put your medications back in the original form for traveling purposes. I want to make sure that you're not carrying anything illegal, so you can prove what medicine you have when they're in original form. And it also can help you with identification down the road. Tip number 9, leave a copy of your passport and your itinerary with someone that you trust back at home. When you're traveling, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to need. I always keep a photocopy of my passport as well on my phone, just in case I need it. I tried that when I lost my identification at the airport, but they wouldn't accept it on my phone. But it's still a good thing to have. Keep a copy of your passport on your phone, as well as leave a copy of your passport here at home with someone that you trust, like a family member, and a copy of your itinerary. You never know when someone needs to get in touch with you while you're traveling. It could be an emergency. So that's always a good practice to do when you're leaving the country. Tip number 10, secure your home before you leave. Just take a moment and walk around your house and make preparations for your house before you depart. If you're going to be gone for long periods of time, make sure you put your lights on a timer. Make sure the light bulbs outside your house, on your front porch, your back porch, your garage, are all changed and up to date. Make sure that you put your lights on inside your house on a timer. Also, notify your neighbor. If you trust your neighbor that you're going to be out of the country, make sure they check your mail or have your mail stopped. It is just very important with people sharing so much on social media that you protect your home and you have your home set up to make like someone is still here in your home. Tip number 11, don't announce ahead of time that you're leaving on vacation on social media. I see so many people put countdown to vacation, 15 days. Why give someone time to prepare for you to leave your home? Don't put a countdown on social media. Don't announce that I'm leaving for vacation in 5 days or 10 days. There's no need to do that. You don't want to give anybody time to prepare to make a move on your home. So you can either wait till you're on vacation and say something or post your pictures when you get back. But if you're leaving your home and people know you live alone, make sure you don't make those pre-announcements about going on vacation on social media. Tip number 12, confirm all reservations and activities. If you did not use a travel agent when you booked your vacation, make sure you confirm all your reservations prior to departure and your activities. You don't want to arrive out of the country at the hotel and they don't have your reservation or your activity isn't booked. So take a moment before you depart and make sure that you have confirmed with your airline, your hotel, your transportation, your activities, that everything is confirmed and ready to go before you arrive in your destination. Tip number 13, clean your house before you leave for vacation. Vacation is so much fun, but it also can be very taxing on the body. So when you come back home, you're tired, you're exhausted, you want to come back home to a clean house. It just makes for a better welcoming back home. If your house is clean and straightened up, you don't have to do any chores. You can just come home and relax. So this is also always a helpful tip to do. I always make sure my house is clean from top to bottom before I leave so that I can come back to a very open and welcoming feeling. Tip number 14, if you did not book with a travel agent, then make sure you do research on the hotel and resort that you are staying. Make sure you find out, what do they have to offer? What do they have, what they don't have, so that you can properly prepare. You want to know what you want to do on your vacation. Knowing what your resort or hotel has to offer also helps you properly plan what you need to take on your vacation, what you don't need to take, and it can help you with your activities, what you can do while you're at the hotel, or if you need preparations, transportation to do things off the hotel. Tip number 15, gather the embassy information of the country that you're traveling to. Make sure you have the address, the telephone number, and a general idea of where it's located in regards to where you're staying in that country. It's always a good idea. I always just print out the address on a piece of paper, put it in my travel documents folder, and I just have it. I've never needed to use it, but it's also a good feeling to know that you have it should you ever need to use it. I wanted to provide you with the 15 things that I thought were extremely important that you should do before you depart for vacation. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please leave any comments that you have below. I would love to hear your feedback. I hope you enjoyed today's tips. That's it for me today. I'm Erica James with Erica James Travel, and I'll see you next time.